Note before viewing. I am by no means an expert in religious background and the cultural differences between American and Arabic countries. It is difficult for me to refute any arguments for or against Muslims and the Islamic faith. If I am inaccurate in any way, by all means, you may correct me. In fact, I welcome all discussion on this topic, and I will gladly consider your views if you present them in a civil and sophisticated way. Now, on to the video. When I first heard there were going to be protesters picketing the weekend visit of former radical Muslim Dr. Daniel Shayesteh to a local church, in which he would talk about his conversion from Islam to Christianity, it struck me as strange. I didn't get it. Now, while I wasn't able to catch his Saturday conference, I made it a priority to catch his Sunday morning service. And don't get me wrong, it was interesting and he has a very inspirational testimony. He was a former Iranian member of Hezbollah, in which he taught the hatred and killing of American and Jews, and in which he helped an Ayatollah overthrow the government. The same guy who would later sentence him to death. And he told an amazing story of how he fled to Turkey and sought refuge in an Iranian Christian church, the same church that he would later convert to Christianity in. And to me, it's inspirational that he hated something so much and now he loves it so much. And he also told stories about how his faith discouraged him from being excited about his religion. A committed Muslim is not asked to be excited, he said. You have to teach others to be angry and to be hateful. This is what you are taught in the mosque. They're always complaining and criticizing and hating and attacking somebody. He was encouraged to be hateful of everyone, of the Jewish culture, of Christianity, of women, pretty much all non-Muslims. And he told shocking tales of child brides and hating women like animals and so on and so forth. And judging from where he came from, it makes sense to me that that's the experience that he had. If he lived a life of radical and extremism, it doesn't surprise me that his views reflect this. Sadly, it is called a peaceful religion, and many Muslims sadly do not know the Quran and call Islam a peaceful religion. But despite his intensely negative experience, I expected Shayesteh to maybe tell the congregation that not all Muslims are bad and that some are peaceful. Unfortunately, I never heard those words. We have to wake up. This is a horrible religion. He called Islam a disrespectful religion and claimed that the followers only enjoy freedom because it allows them to go into a country and destroy it from within. This is happening in England, he said, because they forced the English government to recognize Islamic law as part of their judicial system. He said there's an attorney general figure somewhere in Scotland that's a Muslim, and upon his election said to his fellow Muslim people that one day there will be a Muslim prime minister. Continuing without pausing from that statement, Shayesteh said, "When you open the door, they come in and destroy. That's why you need to wake up." And later he said, "That's Islam. Every opportunity you give them, they use for a tool of destruction." Now, there's no real way for me to refute his views and opinions, but looking back, I just get more and more uncomfortable as I think about it. He appeared to be an intelligent man, so I feel like he has the responsibility to not spread more fear about the Muslim faith than there already is. There are thousands and thousands of people, my fellow Christians included, that already think that Islam is an evil, evil religion and they're all out to get us. And his message only reinforced that warped view and does a great injustice to the peaceful Muslims in the world and America, and the ones living in central Pennsylvania. Because there are plenty of Muslims in the world that seek peace. And there are plenty of Muslims in America that exhibit American values and ideals. And there are plenty of Muslims in my community that love freedom. Not because they want to destroy it, but because they want to embrace it. Of the 36 or so protesters that picketed the event this weekend, a large majority of them were Muslims from my community. And they didn't riot. And they didn't kill anybody who walked in the church doors. And they didn't burn the building down. The very fact that they held up signs in a peaceful protest, something that our First Amendment grants them, is proof that Shayesteh's views, whether intentional or misguided, are severely irresponsible and do more harm than they do good. I said earlier that I didn't really understand why the protesters were doing what they were doing, but unfortunately, after hearing his message, I kinda do understand. There'll be a link down in the dangly-do to my Tumblr to have a fuller transcript of what I just said. This is a whole new thing for me, starting a discussion on this channel. What do you think? What do you have to say? So I'm looking for some comments, some video responses, and I really want to come back and visit this next week. I look forward to hearing from every one of you.